First interview, detailing how they found out they were going free. Just started busting out.
Hi, Kate.
Hi. Kim Kosis.
Anna?
Surprise. You feel honored?
Yeah, she's running off a bunch of copies, I think. Hannah.
I guess, can we start?
No.
Or wait for Hannah?
Oh, there's no, I don't think we're in Zoom yet. Hannah had trouble with it the other night too, or the other day.
Mike? Push your little button.
It's info. Well, yeah.
No.
I'll call this meeting of the Pownell DRB to order. June 25th at 7 PM. Approval agenda, oath, public hearing for permit 22-032 appeal. Press for the appeal, public comment and adjourn.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion?
I make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the only problem I see is we do not have the appealees.
Yeah, she's on Zoom.
They're on Zoom.
Oh, they're on Zoom, okay,
Everyone's on Zoom.
okay, okay, that's good. So what I'll do now is, have you take the oath, all those that are going to testify in today's appeal. Raise your hand. Are they on?
Video on and then raise their hand. Chris and Jody and Lee, could you guys all just turn your video on for a second and then raise your right hand?
Oh, Judas Priest.
Okay.
Chris may not be able to hear us if he does end up wanting to speak and then he comes on, we can just have him take the oath like we did with that last meeting afterwards. But Jody.
This is Chris Yazzie. The way my laptop's hooked up, I can't turn the camera on. It's a company one.
Okay, we have Mary here anyway, so. Okay, we got Jody and Lee.
They are on there. It's not showing up on the.
Okay. Okay, so everybody that's going to speak, please state your name.
Michael Gardner.
Jody Morrison.
Hannah Darling.
And we got Chris. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Chris Yazzie. I'm just basically here just to see, because I'm up Washington State, so I'm just zooming in. I made a statement to you, to the board. I gave you paperwork.
Okay. So you swear the oath. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask the zoning administrator.
You guys are good.
Are we good?
Good.
So Mike, if you would give us a synopsis of what happened and how we ended up here,
Sure.
please.
Chris Yazzie came to you me as the zoning administrator, after he had a fire at their property on, Lad Road. And was looking to put up a garage, metal building. I'm not sure if he classified it as a garage, and I don't have the permit in front of me, but it was in 2022. So I advised him to fill out a permit. We looked the permit over, and it was either going to be, a permittable building or not. Any other person that I've dealt with, in the town. And sometimes I've told them right off the bat that it's something they couldn't do because of whatever reason. At the time, I didn't see any reason that Mr. Yazzie couldn't do his building. Filed his permit. I looked it over, did the same thing I do with every other permit, gave it to Hannah. Hannah and I've been doing this now. Hannah was fairly new at the time of doing this. She pulled up on Town View, which is very normal for any permitting process. She pulled up the Yazzie's property in Town View. It gives us a list of abutting landowners. And for whatever reason, the list of abutting landowners that showed up on that is, I believe it's 23 Lad Road. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the abutting landowners for 23 Lad Road showed up as, because for another, whatever, who knows why, the Yazzies own property on both sides of Oak Hill School Road. They showed up on the abutting landowners came up on the west side of the road. This particular project is on the east side of the road. So unfortunately, that was missed by myself and Hannah. The other abutting landowners on the west side, and I think there was 9. Is that right, Hannah? There was 9 landowners. They all got notified of the project in error. They shouldn't have even been notified because it was separated by the road. So the Morrisons did not get notified of the project, which was an error. But all that being said, I believe the only difference from when that permit was issued versus now is the appeal would have taken place at that time. And I believe that's probably the property the building meets all of the zoning setbacks, all of those zoning regulations for that particular area. So the only difference is, unfortunately, the Morrisons weren't notified. I can't speak for them, but I would assume they would have appealed at that point, and we would have been at this point 3 years ago in 2022. And that's kind of the general overview of what the situation is.
Any questions for the board to Michael regarding that?
I don't.
Not particularly. Okay, so everybody's up to speed as to how things progress from there to here.
Yep.
Okay. I guess at this point, I'll ask either Mary or Chris. The intentional use for the building is going to be.
It's a private garage. As a lot of people in town know, we have some bigger trucks. It is 100% not commercial. We're not doing any kind of work. It's for our personal use. We're in essence replacing the old garage that was smaller, I will grant that, with a new one because the old one burnt down. But it's basically just for us to work not only on our personal trucks, bigger ones that we have and several vintage ones, but also we have cars. I've got motorcycles. It's just basically a personal garage, nothing else.
So in essence, you intend on doing some repairs, some mechanical maintenance and possible fabrication on vehicles inside this garage.
As needed. It is, like I
Yeah,
said,
right.
not a personal. We're also gonna, to be honest, I'm busting at the seams because we don't have the storage space. So I'm gonna be like putting one of my older Buick cars in one of the bays. It'll be parking there. Some during the winter, obviously, some of the more vintage trucks will sit in there. But yes, we're gonna use it like a regular garage that you would use. We'll be working on some things here and there, and some things will be parked in there. That's all.
So I read in your packet that the slab is heated.
Yes.
What's the installation factor going to be for the actual building, the structure itself?
We haven't discussed it. It's pretty much a combined effort, myself and my son, Leo. Unfortunately, he works second shift, so he's working right now. I haven't discussed that, but I actually ordered doors from Matson Overhead that are insulated. So we are going to insulate the building. And the reason for the heated slab is, to be honest, most likely we wouldn't be able to do anything except for on the weekends. So during the winter time, not having a heated slab, it'll take you almost the whole weekend to get it back up to a workable temperature. So we decided to go with a heated slab.
Do you have an approximate idea as to the hours you may be working in there on the occasion that you will be in there on a weekend?
No, I mean, definitely nothing to the wee hours, nothing like that at all. I mean, I'd say during daylight time, let's put it that way. Nothing extensive. We don't, believe me, we have no rebuild projects. We have nothing on it. It's just, regular, like you would work on your car if you need to change oil, if you need to change tires, something like that. Nothing expensive at all.
Okay. Any questions for the board for Chris?
No. So it's just a personal garage then?
Jim, Cody?
No.
I guess Jody or Lee, one of you could voice your concerns.
I have a quick question. Can we confirm, you had mentioned the setbacks? I guess this question is for you.
Yep.
I saw a comment pop up on the screen. I don't know if this was the time for the comments on the screen from public comment yet, which I don't think it quite was. But now it brought to my attention. Is this building going to be off the 15, I believe it's a 15-foot setback?
10 feet.
10, okay,
Village district is 10.
okay,
I've been to the site and measured,
okay,
and it is beyond the 10 feet.
okay.
I have the emails, and as does Mike, of our conversations. I'm sure he could pull them up. When I first inquired, there was no building up. He said we could have brought this up years ago because that's when the permit was. And no offense to Chris and Mary Yazzie, but there is always an abundance of vehicles and other things in that. Lee and I have learned to turn a blind eye. So there were things coming and going. We paid no attention. When I saw the first part of the steel buildings actually the lifts came. And then I said to Lee, what's going on? Were you ever notified by the town of anything going on? He said, no. And I see one steel beam was up, and I emailed Mike and said, I think we have an issue. I don't believe Lee and I were ever notified of this. He waited a day shy of a week to email me with an email stating I could come look at the permit in the office during office hours, and that it was 10 feet, 3 inches from the fence, which Mr. Yazzie informed him was not the property line, that the property line was closer to my home. So my issue is, not one person, Mike came down and measured the fence to the building, and the garage it is replacing was on the other side of the pasture, did not. If there was a fire over there, my house wasn't going to catch on fire. If there's a fire in this shop, my house don't stand a chance. So when I asked for the proof of mailings, I believe it should have been more than a list of abutters with Hannah's writing and the date on it. When I worked in the lister's office and we had to do a proof of mailing, I know it may be different, but we had to bring it to the post office where the postmaster checked every envelope that was being sent out regarding grievance or whatever it was. I believe I brought a few there for Mike when I worked there for permits. And she would check them all. She would write the date and sign it. So, and I don't know, have all the proper abutters been notified yet? I mean, or just me because I'm appealing? I mean, you haven't given any of the proper abutters a chance with any of this.
Can we confirm?
I believe there's a bylaw regarding, I apologize. I'm not sure which one it is, but about the noise and the fumes. That would be an issue. It's right beside my home as it is now. If they're working out there, you can't sit on the porch. So have all the proper abutters been notified to the permit, or just me?
All the butters were notified.
So the rescue squad and Corliss?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, I should have received that proof of mailing. Because like I said, I received the packet from you. You were the one that you sent. I don't know, I had Mike's signature. Stating it had the permit, a copy of the permit, and what the agenda was on the hearing and the Zoom link. I requested from Wendy in the lister's office if I could have a history of the permit re-inspects, because when somebody applies for a permit, the lister's office has to do, they are obligated to do a permit re-inspect, and then they come back to the office and they put in the percentage complete. I requested that and never received it. I was hoping that maybe somebody could have picked it up. And then if there was no building within a year of this permit, we need to be clear on that. Right? Because you yourself said it's been out since 22, correct? So in 2-3 years, you said I should have said something, but it's not my responsibility. It's the town's responsibility to notify me. And as soon, let's agree, I'm sure we can all agree, as soon as I saw something going up, Mike, I notified you. And then it continued to go up. So now it's like shoved down our throat. But that can't be the case, because there's a million reasons why. I mean, Judas Priest, he said, it's replacing the old garage. It's like triple the size. It's right beside my home. It's not on the other side. And I welcome any of you. And if somebody would come down and measure from the actual property line, I have a survey. Morrissey did it in '86. I'd be happy. But yeah, I just think this was wrong in every way, shape, or form, and it could have been remedied before the entire building was up and cost everybody a lot of money and aggravation. I mean, tonight is my son's 30th birthday, and we're sitting in his new home in his basement trying to get this sorted out. So it's just, it's sad for all of us involved. I hate to be taking up the town's time, but what's right is right. Lee, what was that other one that you, what was that? Okay.
It's very obtrusive. It's
It's
like
intrusive
it's like
on
a
our-
20-foot high fence.
I mean, our
off
property
the edge of our
value,
porch. I understand it meets the 10-foot setback or
Right.
whatever is required, but it's massive.
that's right,
It
and our,
has really taken
right.
from our side of the fence.
Uh,
very
Our
much.
property value is gonna go in the toilet. Well, if we ever wanted to sell, nobody's gonna wanna. I mean, you can clean up a yard, you can't. Yeah, it's just, like I said, if it was a regular size and there's no,
I'm wondering if before this building was up, would we have had a voice to be able to move it further away from the property line?
and we've had no say in any of it because, yeah. So I think,
Is that, would that have been viable or no?
You want me to answer these questions that they've had?
Yes.
I don't have a problem answering them. So first, Jody, the vehicles that they have in their yard, they were served a zoning violation. And I apologize, I don't have the
right,
date.
I'm not listen, no,
No,
Mike, we
no,
don't
I
have
just-
to go
I'm-
back though about that, dear. I know that we're all
I
really
just-
busy and I wanna get to like the,
I
but,
wanna be really clear on everything. And I want to answer all of your questions that you had or concern.
and we could have
Okay.
done this,
So I think the first thing you brought up was the vehicles in their yard. They were served a zoning violation by me. And like I said, I apologize. I don't have it in front of me or the date. Any resident in the town is allowed 3 unregistered vehicles in their yard on their property.
Do you remember who?
Mike, I never complained about the vehicles.
No,
I
I
don't know
know,
why
Jody,
you were
but
telling me
I
this and
just-
taking time
you-
out, talking about
Issue with a lot of people.
giving him, I never turned him in. I never did
I know.
anything.
No, I know.
I'm
I
talking
just want to
about
be,
the
I just want to be totally clear on everything. Somebody asked me a question. Do I remember what?
Do you recall who, issued the complaint against the Yazzies and their vehicles?
Yes, Alex the Samsonov. That was
I
a
have
former-
never
that
issued a
was-
complaint. Mr.
No, you
Yazdi
didn't.
complained
No.
about my stove several times. He complained about the rescue squad to the state several times. I have never, I try to stay in my own lane, but this was just,
Right. So I did send the zoning violation. Chris produced the valid registrations for at that time, and I'm not saying they're all registered now, but at the time of the complaint, Chris produced a valid registration for all but 2, I believe, all but 2. He was in total compliance with that part of it.
And I still am. If you take a look, every single thing is registered.
right.
Chris,
You can
so
move a
let me-
truck, but you can't move a building. That's my
So-
point.
So, the second thing is, even though the building itself wasn't started, the construction part of it, portion of it, slab, whatever,
I
they
would still,
did start within the 1-year period. I'm pretty positive of that.
well, could someone please send me the percent complete so that I have it moving forward on the permit? Wendy or somebody from Nemrick, Jacob or whoever should have that.
Wendy forwarded that to the assessor, Jacob. And
Okay.
My understanding that Tara was supposed to forward that too. I thought that happened. Jacob
Yeah,
said.
I apologize. That all used to be done, they had the files in the office accessible on the computer, so that, but that's perfect. If he can email me that.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Jacob said he doesn't do those until the building is at least 50% complete.
Well, how
Okay.
does he know if okay.
Because there was a building.
Okay, he can still send me what he has in his notes for his visits. He's had to go by to see where the percent complete was, so. There should be
Yeah,
notes.
but this is the date, yeah.
Yeah. See, there's a photo that we have of the slab.
Yeah.
Monday, July 15th of 24.
There's an earlier photo.
There, okay. I think,
It was when they prepared,
sure.
and a lot of it was because we couldn't get anybody to come out.
Yeah, oh, it was tough,
It's
yeah.
not that we didn't want to get it done sooner than it did, it's because we physically, nobody could come out.
There's the November.
And all you have to do is start site work.
Mhm.
And-
Correct,
and-
yeah.
Mhm.
Because November As you see, 22nd, they prepared. And
Yeah,
when it-
yeah.
And it's cold, we can't
Next,
use that when it's cold.
Jody, I can't, no one sitting in this room can answer for the lister.
No, they don't have to answer. Jacob can email me his notes
Right.
from visiting that
So-
site to keep a, I mean, he's got to go look at it to see when it's 50%, or Wendy does, or somebody does. And I just know that there has to be notes regarding this permit somewhere, the progress of it. And I understand he doesn't do it till 50%, but him or Wendy usually has a little list that they go, so they know who has taken out permits and what's still not finished, completed. And then they go out and visit each of those. So they would have had to at least drive by. So, and most generally she would make a note, or somebody would. So there has to be some sort of documentation from this permit other than Leo's application and then Hannah's proof of mailing. And then the tax map, I think that's what was included. Oh, and then Mr. Yazzie included the Olympia Steel Building shop. What is that called? The blueprints. But again, all this was, So I just wanted our objections on record and in front of the DRB, and you have the evidence now how things went. And
So to address the location, can you elaborate as to why you placed it there, Chris?
Yes, because obviously due to the size of some of our trucks, one is a fire truck and we also have a lowboy trailer, it makes sense to be able to park it and drive it in front of the building. That's the reason why the building got set back in relationship to the other, especially the turning radius. And I am absolutely not trying to impede on the rescue squad and their driveway. So that is the reason why the setback was there, so that you can easily access the garage doors, and if need be, park in front of the garage with the length of the trucks. I mean, I believe both Jody and Lee have seen what we have sitting there, and that was a key reason to have more space in front of it than behind the
that isn't.
place. That's a reason for the placement, but I believe I included in the packet, the town issued a map when they were doing the sewer lines, and it clearly shows where the property line lays, and it is.
No, that's the tax, isn't that the tax map he's referring to? That's not an accurate, you can't go by that, Chris. I have do you have a survey? I mean, it's not accurate. It has, like, if you look at it, I don't know, what's an example we were looking at, like a perfect example, when I worked for the lister's office, Mr. Dents came in.
That property, if that tax map was accurate, that other line on Ladd Road goes right through the middle of your garage,
Right,
your existing
Right.
garage.
so.
Tax maps, it's just a tax map, it's not a property.
That's right. You cannot base everything on the tax map. It is not.
However, what I can state as a fact, when we purchased the property and there are still installed, there used to be a barbed wire fence.
That's right. Yeah.
Erected, and that barbed wire fence runs right alongside where the trees are.
That's
And
right, but
so
that is
when
not the
I
property line.
When I located or when I took the measurement for where the slab's going to go, that's where the 15-foot measurement is from. It doesn't even
Right.
look at what that tax map thing is. So
Right, well, I have a survey from 1986. Like I said, Gerald Morrissey did, of the property lines. And if you have a survey more recent than that, then you can do,
no,
other than the
I
tax
do
map.
not. But basically on purpose, I put the privacy fence on my side of the trees and
Right.
I used the tree line, give or take, because at the time the seller indicated, and that's why I left like every other.
But you can't, but that's
fence.
just not, yeah, but that's just, you gotta look at the proof. You can't go by what somebody
Yes.
said or what.
However,
You just
the
can't do
bottom
that.
line is, the fence that I put up is on my property and the slab is more than 10 foot from that fence.
Right, but the
Right.
fence you put up is not 3 feet from my property line. So, listen, this could go on for hours, and this is my son's birthday. So I just want to address the issues at hand, that I have a survey, if anybody would like to take the time, to try to measure from something other than where the old barbed wire fence was. They're more than welcome to. Anybody can come to my house anytime and on my property and measure. There's a highway marker. I have the deed, I have the survey, underneath the forsythia bush. And I believe that in the deed, the metal pin is right beside that, which is nowhere near 3 feet from Mr. Yaz's fence. I just, like I said, I've tried to stay in my own lane. It wasn't a big deal. I figured it was better than looking at, we could have some privacy.
Approximately how many feet from the fence is the pin, Jody?
I don't know, Matt. You'll have to come look, or I can go measure it. But like I said, it's I don't believe it's 3 feet. I don't believe it's 3 feet at all.
The property line is obviously beyond Mr. Yaz's fence
Our side,
on your side.
it's on our side of his fence.
Yes, it's on our side. It's that big yellow forsythia bush in my driveway. It's
Yes.
right underneath there.
So the building itself will meet the 10-foot setbacks for the
Oh,
village.
I'm not, listen, I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know that he was talking about where he put the fence because the old owners told him that's where the property line was. And I was just letting you know, I had a survey, and that if anybody was interested in where the I understand what you're saying, Matt, about the setbacks and.
Right, the fence placement, obviously, the fence was there prior
For sure.
to everybody, the current owners, the fence was there prior. And you
So now he
said,
put a new fence up where the old fence was.
It
And
was
they're worried
in
that
it's
was
in
the
the
property
same
line, and that's not the
quality as the
subject
old
that
fence.
matters.
but you just replaced it.
Basically, the other one came down, so we put it exactly where the old fence was.
Okay.
Which was how many years after they.
That was gonna be my question. Did the new fence go where the old fence
It's
was?
exactly where the old one, it just was replacement for what was there.
That's right,
We went a little farther.
Where the old owners told them.
Because it's not the first time we've heard complaint, so we did go a little bit farther, but it's exactly in the same line.
Okay, is there anything else? I am sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but like I said, I think, was that all our information? I want to go celebrate Brody. This is.
Is the garage where the permit was granted for?
Yes, 100%.
It
Absolutely.
is, it is.
Does anybody else have any questions for Jody? Sorry about that, man. Taking your job.
No, that's fine.
So either plus or minus a foot here or there from the property line, we're still within the 10-foot
Correct.
for the village.
Correct.
So I didn't get a chance to answer all of Joey's questions, and I don't know if she wants me to answer them or not, but that's fine if she doesn't. About construction continuing and whatever else.
Yeah, I just thought no, you don't have to answer that, because like I said, Mike, it's Brody's birthday, and I took the meeting because I knew I wanted to get this behind me, because I've been trying to do it since when I saw the stuff going up. So yeah, if you could do this, priest, if you could just, yeah, I guess you have our concerns. The board didn't have any questions for you, really. They didn't have any for, so you can deliberate, I guess, and, right, Lee? And when you send the decision, will the appeal process be included with that? With your decision? what we
Once
do
our-
with,
I believe so, yes.
Once our
okay,
decision is rendered,
yeah,
your next course of action, if you don't agree with it, would be environmental court.
perfect,
Oh.
okay.
I'd like to add that noise after hours, and I understand normal use of a garage and fixing stuff, and I get it, you know. But late at night and everybody's being quiet and all that, that's a concern.
Just for discussion purposes, what would be acceptable, Lee, for hours of, operation in their garage for you and Jody?
Listen,
It's not a garage, you said, it's just for
they-
personal use.
They should be able to use their garage
That's
as
right.
anybody else uses their garage. I don't. But, you know, as a shop, smashing and pounding and everything, it's right
That's
next
exactly
to
what
our
it's,
house.
and that's exactly what it was listed as. He applied as shop and crossed it out and put garage. We will have no peace on that end of our home. None,
Would
none.
an 8 PM
No,
timeline?
I am home all day. And listen, I don't expect it to be quiet, but if you come to my house and sit there on a day they're over there now, you will understand. You can put the hours on it you want. It isn't gonna change anything. The value of my property going down the toilet, us not being able to enjoy, our home that we've worked hard to pay for, you know, the porch, any of it. It's blocked everything. I mean, listen, come see, it's like I live next and yeah. I just think we should have been given an opportunity and the mistake should have been picked up by the town or the lister's office or someone in 2 years. And yes, was I complacent by trying not to look at or deal with all the
just
stuff
couldn't
night side? You couldn't tell what was going on, what they were doing. We were. And
So
to say
at
it's
what point-
replacing their other garage is
At
just
what point in time,
ridiculous.
at what point in time did you, observe the slab being put in?
I did not observe the slab being in. I'm very busy. I have several things going on, health issues going on right now. Lee works full time. I saw the lifts come. When I saw the lifts come, I asked Lee, have you received anything from the town regarding this? I don't get the mail. He gets the mail. He said, no, I haven't received a thing. So that is when I immediately emailed Mike before. Like I said, when the lift came, the guys put it over there to show them how to use it. And then one steel beam was up. And I said, Mike, there's a huge building going up right beside my house.
Prior to that, you did not see the 40 by 50 slab go in?
No, I didn't. Listen, you can see there's a lot of stuff over there. Leo comes and goes, starts trucks here and there to keep them going. I don't pay no mind. When I hear loud trucks running, I go to the other end of the house or I'll go downstairs. It is a constant. So no, I didn't see when they were pouring the 40-foot slab.
Even saying the slab was there, we had no idea what structure was going on. It could have been a 10 by 20 with a couple overhangs off of it. It's
Right.
a 20-foot high wall.
Right.
Listen,
I was just trying to get a time frame as to when you guys
Last
had
year
noticed
sometime.
yeah,
construction.
I didn't pay no mind until the building started going up because like I said, they're doing all kinds of
I didn't
stuff
either
across the
because
street.
slab
They've
doesn't,
got
the slab,
stuff going on.
had we had the permit information, we'd have known there was a 40 by 50 building.
And we
going
could have
on.
voiced our
But
objections.
we didn't. There was just a slab poured and we had no idea what was going on. Per se, what size it was.
And listen,
Yeah, right.
we have done our best to try to notify the town as quick as possible that there was an issue. And I explained how we didn't pick it up because things are constantly coming and going. 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, there's new trucks, fire truck, so I don't pay no attention.
I'm gonna say one thing about the permitting process and the email and whatever that Jody sent me. She did send me an email And it probably was, it might have been close to a week, might have been around a week, right? Before
I
I
have them
answered
and I'd be
Jody.
glad to send them.
Right. It's public record, Jody, because it was sent to my
Yeah, right.
town email. So, I'm not denying that there was an email sent.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is I tried to research out with Hannah what happened. And I think there was a weekend in there as well, right?
I don't know, but
Whatever,
listen, and I know you're
whatever.
busy, Mike, and I've always known that, but in all due respect, when I sent you the email, you should have, listen, you've known me my entire life. You know I'm in a butter of his. You should have just reached out instead of wait and then give me the measurements and tell me to go to the town office and look at the permit during office hours.
Jody,
I just was trying to remedy.
I honestly thought that was the fastest way for you to get a
When I
copy
used
of
to
the
work in the
permit.
office, the fastest way
So-
for you was when you would ask me to email it. So I just figured you could do that. And I
And-
apologize in the future, but like I said, I've got a lot of issues going on. And I didn't think it would be a big deal to have the town email me this information. But yeah, we still have.
So Cindy had a question.
Sorry, Cindy.
Just a simple question. About the old fence, was the old fence stockade or did it impede
Well,
your
when
view?
we
Did
purchased
it
the property.
impede your view at all, the old fence, like? Could you not?
The lower part, basically where, where my, old lean-to was, about halfway up the property was stockade, and right behind it, interwoven almost in the trees, was a barbed wire fence, but that barbed wire fence went all the way up. And so I basically put a privacy fence because the old stockade fence was falling apart and everything else. And I said, you know what? Let me be a nice guy. Seriously, I thought so. And I said, I'm going to put it on this side of the trees. And it went the full length up to the top of the property to be honest, to shield us some of the views. I don't disagree. You see a lot of trucks and stuff. It was a stockade fence and in the same place, exact same place. Regarding Jody and Lee's comment, I mean, Jeff Miller was there in November of let me see here, 22, with excavators for a good week and more.
Yes, he was digging. There was a humongous dirt pile, Chris, it was almost as tall as the building is now that you have. They were removing that dirt. I had no idea.
No, they put down the crushed stone as a site prep.
Okay, right.
And
Well,
then-
it's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there now.
No,
I
I'm
didn't
just
see what was going on.
I'm
And
just
that
saying
is-
that it was very evident that there was a site being prepped for a 40 by 50.
No, it was not evident, Chris. It was not evident at all.
Absolutely was evident.
Okay, point of order.
All right.
Point of order. No.
Even if the slab was there for 5 years,
So
we had
Hannah,
no idea what was going on.
Right.
Sorry.
Hannah, could you elaborate as to the VLTC verbiage regarding this that you found? What was their view on the course of action that could be taken?
As next steps or
Yes.
what should have?
How this can proceed, as far as Jody and Lee's,
Didn't you say that would be
Stance and how they-
included with your
What they-
decision, the
what-
appeal information?
what their rights and
Yeah, their right was to, if you guys render a decision they're not happy with, was to appeal it to environmental court.
Okay.
That's the next step.
okay, but they had the right to appeal this to this board,
They have the right to appeal it to
Voice their-
ZBA, pushes it to DRB.
voice their concerns, and then once the decision is rendered, then next step is the environmental court. If they're not in agreement with our decision, correct?
Yes.
So there's no repercussions for the Azzies building this without notification of Jody and Lee
Yeah, because the permit is aligned with our bylaws.
Okay.
Um,
So,
unfortunately, and I'm really sorry, Jody and Lee, that was a
Listen,
mistake.
it doesn't, and I know you're sorry, Hannah, but it doesn't matter. If I had to put up a building, the town would be fining me if I didn't notify, or if I didn't do all the proper steps. I think it's
I know.
absolutely ridiculous what you're saying, that this is,
Unfortunately.
but it's my son's birthday, so you can deliberate, and then I'm gonna wait that, and then I will proceed further, if I have to. Okay? I thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful evening, and I'm not trying to be difficult, Mr. Yazzie, but listen, you of all people have to understand, you complained about my wood stoves time after time after time. You complained about the rescue squad. You didn't want anything
I have
infringing
never
upon your
complained.
property. Wait a
Okay,
minute.
That
Let me
doesn't matter.
speak.
that's
Let
enough.
me speak.
Shut them down.
It's irrelevant right now.
That's regurgitating the same. I'm done. Okay. I think we have enough information. Any questions from the board as far as the project, the timeline, and the propriety of the permit being granted?
The
Not
only,
really.
the only thing that I didn't see on paperwork was his street setback footage.
Okay. That was, Mary, do you know the approximate setback from the street to the front of your building?
No, I do not.
Just an estimate.
I personally know.
Yeah, I mean,
Personally, no.
Well,
well, you kind of know our property.
Right.
Chris,
I mean.
but what's your setback from the street?
I couldn't hear you.
Setback from the street.
The setback of the front of the building to the street?
Yes.
Oh, geez, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I think the map, did I indicate it on the map?
No.
That hand sketch map? I know I indicated distance to my house.
Is it on the permit application?
I see the house.
I don't know.
This is stating that.
I might have just over.
Sure, 10 square. feet.
So how far is the existing garage from Lad Road? Approximately.
You mean the one that burnt down?
There's a depiction of a garage on your permit.
Oh, that one. That,
Yeah, the one that, yeah, the one.
Along with our Dutch barn, which is behind our regular, the garage has just been there forever, I mean, it's been there since we got it, but that's probably, I don't know, maybe 4 feet from the road, but again, I'm not good at it.
So
It's a new building as well.
it's
it is,
the entire width of your house plus.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so it's well beyond
The minimum.
50 feet.
oh, yes, 100%. Absolutely.
It's
Okay.
well beyond 50, Jim.
Definitely. I think the setback 25 in the village residential or village industrial, right? I believe it's well over 25 feet from the road. Well over.
Just to answer the question.
I did not measure that. I apologize. I did measure the,
Right. It's 25 feet from the edge of the traveled way of.
Right.
So well beyond the 25 feet. The existing is not, but the new construction will. Anything else? I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we go into deliberative session.
Okay,
I'll second the motion.
still moved.
you want me to stay in the deliberative session and answer any questions?
Yes, please.
You want Hannah to stay in that as well?
Yes, please.
There I go.
Okay, yes.
Yes, you may.
You're
leave.
free.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
This is the
So
vote.
what's that?
You haven't done the vote yet. You just took, no, we did first.
Yeah.
Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
So we are in deliberative session.
We'll just
Make sure. Kate gets you out, Hannah. Make sure you guys get them out. They're going to deliberative.
All right. Is there any public comment?
We have to come out of deliberative.
Oh, we gotta come out for,
Oh,
I'll make a motion that we come out of deliberative session.
I'll second the motion.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Is there any public comment?
Anybody got their hands up? Nope.
Being no public comment, I will entertain a motion.
I will make the motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Now,
Opposed? Motion carried.
everybody have a good evening.